Lion face. Lemon face.
What movie?
Wait. I was gonna say Good Will Hunting, but it's not. It's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Nice. Good one. That took you longer than expected.
I know. My mind is elsewhere. Sorry, Kevin Smith. Let you down.
Welcome back. 189? Episode 189?
189. What an episode. I, at one point, had to stop listening because I was with our son at a doctor's appointment and I was laughing inappropriately with my earbuds in.
Oh, no.
At another point, I had to stop listening because I was trying to row and couldn't stop laughing, couldn't catch my breath, was crying. God, this is a good
You
episode.
can't listen to these while you're working out. I figured that out long ago.
Yeah.
Really, any podcast, because I don't know. You just, because you get to like focusing on what's being said.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, I should be focusing on working out.
Very true. You need music to work out too.
I know. Although some people say that if you need music to work out, then blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you understand how much stuff I need to work to motivate me to work out? music, temperature, time of day, food in my stomach or not. Like, it has to be the perfect storm for me to work out. Hydration. Like if I don't have water like nearby, I'm like, well, there's just no point. What if I die of getting too thirsty?
I have to eat first. Oh, now I've eaten too much.
Yeah. Oh, I've done that one too.
I feel like my sound is way off from your sound.
Really?
Yeah.
Talk.
Look how much lower my voice is than yours. Look at your loud voice.
I don't. Let's see. Oh, I got it. Oh. See, we turned the table. We turned the table so she could have that mic. So yes, that makes more sense now.
I'm so sorry, everybody. Welcome back to our highly professional and highly unofficial recap show of our favorite
Nadav
podcast.
and Maddy.
Nadav would cry himself to sleep if he were me.
So
sorry,
do
Nadav.
you think any viewer / listener well, okay, well, let me point this out first. Like, if somebody gave a shit in the comment section, did you see that last week where
oh yeah, the show from two people who didn't even watch
the show, because we both said in the beginning we didn't watch it, but
yeah,
there's other ways to consume a podcast.
I hope it would be implied
that we listened to
because
it.
it's an auditory format that we listened.
God,
I get what they were
saying.
So,
but that's what reminded me of this, because there's just dumb people out there. Is that, do you think there's even one person that listens to the podcast that thinks that Bert got his foot chopped off? What Tom said in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there one person who goes, oh my God, really?
I do. I think there
so
are
too.
Probably 5 people that think that.
Out of every 1,000.
Yeah, out of every 1,000.
There's probably 5. Like, oh my God, Bert's foot got cut off. No way.
And Tom does a good job keeping the thread going. Whatever the joke is, he's never going to let a joke drop. He brought it up later about how basically Bert could just eat whatever he wants on a cruise now that he's chopped his foot off.
I think he's used the amputate the right foot. I mean, amputate the foot one like more than once.
Before, yeah. He's made a reference to diabetes.
Yeah. All right. Guest today was
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, he's funny. I never got into him like before, and I just happened to catch him like a year or two ago on a podcast. I'm like, oh man, this dude's funny.
Dude, he's so funny. I didn't realize he was relatively newer to comedy.
Yeah, about 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
See, in the very beginning, like when his name would come up, like in that the realm of all these guys and stuff like that, it was always like he was always arguing. It was like some kind of like political thing, and so like all his fans were like, and they were like picking on other comedians that they thought like were woke. It was just like something I'm like, he could be funny. I just don't want to. I don't care to.
I do remember
listen
there being
to all that.
some Tim Dillon drama in the past.
But as the more and more you listen to him on podcasts and stuff like that, it's not like that. He's more just like a guy just says whatever he wants to say or whatever. It's entertaining. He's
like
definitely
that.
entertaining.
Oh, he was hysterical. Yeah. And he and Tom were definitely two peas in a pod, just saying whatever they wanted.
It's almost better an episode where there's a guy that will one up Tom with the disturbing things he'll say. Because it just makes it because then you can see, where does Tom laugh?
For sure. I adore when they get a guest like that on. Yeah. Tim Dillon had been on my radar. I hadn't consumed a lot of what he puts out there, and I hope I see a ton more Tim Dillon clips because he's so freaking funny.
Did you know he was gay? Sorry to interrupt.
I have that too. And they say, is it a big deal to be gay anymore? I would say for people like coming out of the closet, I mean, for some people it's a big deal, or they feel like they need to preface it
for
to
the
their
person
family.
that's gay.
For the person that's gay.
Yeah, but
do you agree with Tom that it's no big deal?
In society, I don't think it is, but I think there are still sections. Like, you could go to our neighbor's house, you know what I mean? An old couple, or you know, I'm sure they're not like fully like with the culture. But gay
neighbors too.
And they talk to them. So
and everybody's copacetic.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a huge deal. I think the further you go down in that alphabet, though, it's still a big deal. Not to like people like us, but just like
once you get past B.
Yeah. LBG.
LGB.
Oh, LG. G is gay. B, bisexual. T. Yeah. Well, I think bisexual has always been, right? Am I right on that one?
A big deal, or
no? Like, always been accepted, at least on the female side. Every guy's like,
at least by you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I always thought like every guy was like, the dream was for the girl to bring a girl home or something like that. Like, they're totally cool with their wife.
Yes.
Oh yeah, totally cool.
I love it. I would say it's never been a big deal, but I also hate to, I don't know. I hate to belittle someone's experience if they're like, it's a big deal for me. Like, this was a big deal.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into big deals later in the episode of TikTokers who don't have the accommodations for them. Oh my God,
large deals.
What else?
Private prisons. The gay discussion led us into Tim Dillon's quite interesting dichotomy of opinions.
Yeah,
that
is one of the ones that, like, when he's sitting there talking about, everybody knows private prisons are kind of sketchy, just the way it works. Like, you're running a business on taking people's freedoms away, and some people obviously deserve to be in there, but if business is down, that's the deal with private prisons, why everybody gets an upheaval, because when business is down and they're not making their profits, they have to figure out a way to get more people in their prison, and that's when they lobby to change laws of like, this guy with 1 ounce of whatever,
criminalize things, or already decriminalized,
and next thing you know, he's 30 years in jail because he's got a vape pen in his pocket. Which is, obviously dumb.
That's why it's sketchy as hell.
But what's funny about when he's talking about it is because it's kind of agreed upon that private prisons are, unless you're in the private prison industry, most people kind of agree, like, yes, they're kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
So when he says that, that's what makes it funny. I don't think he actually believes what he says there. I think he's just like, he's like, oh yeah, that's what I'd run on.
Just stirring it up.
Just stirring the pot, It's like, it's almost like Tom saying the pores. It's the same thing, people get mad.
The first part that got me, where I had to stop listening and reconvene later, was about North Korea. Where they were talking, for some reason, when they said the guy's got some rules with regards to North Korea, it just like spun me off.
I'm trying to remember the context and when they were talking about that.
They made a comparison to Soho House about how just everyone just can't get in. It kind of makes you want to go. Kind of makes you want to go to North Korea more because it's exclusive. I'm sorry, I'm laughing so hard. And they were like, do you need lights every day? Probably not. Should you take a few days off without food? Some of it really, really tickled me.
Oh man,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, again, that goes just to their whole thing of just talking about things that most everybody agrees upon. North Korea's bad, and somehow they flip it into something that's funny and over the top.
Yes, it's obviously horrible conditions.
Don't cry when you're laughing here. You're gonna have to redo your makeup mid podcast.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's something about the way they spun that into being delayed gratification just was really funny.
Oh man. So yeah, you didn't know. Yeah, back to that. You didn't know he was. I know I had heard it before, but every time it's brought up, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Because
I didn't know that he was gay. I think my only I have seen clips with him. I think my only episode of something I've seen him in was an episode of Something's Burning, and I don't remember it being addressed.
Being come up.
Yeah. But I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't come up.
No, it shouldn't. There's no reason to bring it in.
But it, his voice and his the way he carries himself, just it's exact opposite of what you'd expect.
Ooh, I mean? Mr. Syke, are you generalizing?
Yeah, kind of am. But I don't know. You just don't normally see that. You think of him more of just the way his voice is, almost like an Artie Lang type of you're waiting for him to drop. Oh, the broads were all, that type of thing.
100%.
No, it is cool. I know it's just news to me every time they say it because I know I've heard it before.
Mm-hmm. But it catches you off guard.
I had a question here. When they started talking about murdering their wives and things like that.
Tom literally always loves to chime in with how much he would love to murder someone.
Tom talked about a specific thing where he says, sometimes they put them in suitcases.
Mm-hmm. And
that reminded me of, do you think he was talking about the story of the guy that had one of your phone numbers way back in the day? That murdered his wife or girlfriend and put her in the suitcase? You think he was referring to that story?
I feel like that was a well-known case, at least at the time. I mean, it's been a long time, but that was pretty shocking.
We haven't talked about it on this. Have we talked? We haven't talked about it on any of our podcasts about when a guy on the lam for chopping up his girl and putting her in a suitcase was basically got rid of a phone number. The T-Mobile or whatever gave it to you a month or two later, and then
I started getting all these texts from people checking on him, hey,
he gave up the number, but he hadn't committed the crime yet. And then when he committed the crime, everybody that he talked to didn't know he had a new number. So you're getting all these texts hey bro, if you need to hide out here, and and that's when we it was a whole thing. We called the U.S. Marshals and we're like, hey man, we got a big list of people that want to catch this guy or that want to help this guy.
We had people over tracing numbers of who had texted him, and
I was a straight rat on that.
Dude, you were.
Yeah, I was snitches get stitches. I was like, fuck these people. They're trying to help out a clear murderer who chopped up this girl and put her in a suitcase. I'm like, no. Then the funny part about that, I remember we were just about to go to a movie, and I just called the hotline that was all over the news, and they're like, hold on. And then it transferred to another city's hotline close to where it happened. And then they're like, they got information hold on. And then somebody's gonna be calling you. And then it called our local U.S. Marshals, and he was asking all the questions. And he's like, is there a time we can meet up? And I was like, well, we're going to the movies right now, so maybe a couple hours after. He's like, I wasn't really asking you. I'm
just telling you.
I'm telling you, yeah, we're gonna come. See,
right
we're coming
now
to your house right now to look at the phone or whatever. But anyway, that was a pretty big story, and I was wondering if Tom, when he was talking about that, the suitcase thing, if that's what it was.
Yeah,
that's funny.
You absolutely were in your element, helping to catch a murderer.
Oh yeah. Well, then what happened? Oh yeah. So I asked the U.S. Marshals, I'm like, well, should we respond to these texts or whatever? And he's like, I don't care what you do with them, now that we got the information. So me being the sleuth.
Doesn't interest me, son.
Yeah. So me being the sleuth, I'm like, I have your phone. And when somebody from his crew texts, I'm like, yeah, this is me. Oh, can you help me out? I was like entrapping. What's the word? Entrapment. I was trying to get him to say, oh yeah, I'd help you out. So then we get a text from the U.S. Marshal saying, hey, are you guys texting on that phone? And we're like, yeah, you told us that you didn't care what we did. And he's like, yeah, you got to stop because the
FBI,
FBI and everybody has like a trait. They think they have him like texting. And he's like, no, those are just the two idiots that have his old phone.
You're really lucky the FBI didn't come to the house at 1 a.m. Like,
I know, busting down the door. It's like, we got him.
I'm sorry, officers. My husband's just playing a crazy game of sexy one-upsmanship.
Oh man, that was great.
Those are good times.
Have you ever thought of murdering me? That was my next question.
No, but literally, I've never once thought of murdering you. I felt like
I feel like there shouldn't be a but anywhere in there, even for a joke or anything.
I did feel like their like blood in the open ocean idea was really good. Like dumping blood and then taking off, luring sharks over, and then just. Like,
I'm never gonna be. In
I've
the ocean
never
with you.
once considered open ocean anything, but it seemed that they both have thought about it and like concurred that that's the best way.
Yeah, a shark attack. Like he was like Tim Dillon's like, how do I convince a shark to attack the person I'm with?
Oh my god, does it feel good to kill someone, and B, does it grow in significance over time? Like Tom said, it must get better over time, and that's why O.J. Simpson is so happy, which I loved. I love O.J. just like all over golf courses, as happy as a clam giving his commentary.
I don't know. I live a different life where that would haunt me forever and ever.
Too.
Like, why would you want to do that?
Me too. Even if just I don't know, like self-defense or just something happened, it would haunt me for literally forever. Even if I knew I were doing something.
Well, not self-defense. That wouldn't haunt me. If somebody was trying to harm you, me, or whoever the kids, like that wouldn't be a thing. I'd be like, oh, and then I'd be like,
maybe self-defense is.
I'd be in the car, making my way down, singing the song. Blah, blah, blah. Suck it in. I'm singing Blues Traveler afterwards. That wouldn't bother me at all. But like an innocent person, that would haunt
We're both pretty much bulldogs in defense of our family. And that part, I guess, wouldn't bother me. But doing harm to someone would hurt my heart forever. And it would get much worse over time.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. They were pretty they were pretty sick about it. But funny though, I gotta give them that.
Oh, I heard about the Natalie Wood story. I had some understanding of that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that Christopher Walken was there on the boat. That was fascinating.
That was one of those, like just like the Tim Dillon is gay stuff. Like I hear it all the time, like years apart or whatever. And then every time I'm like, oh yeah, Christopher Walken was on that, or whatever. Yeah, because at first I was like, man, did I know that? And then I'm like, wait, yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an unsolved murder mystery, whatever. Can you imagine the podcast they would have about that back in the day? Like, the murder mysteries. I guarantee they probably do have a podcast about that, like revisiting the Natalie, all the clues.
There have got to be multiple podcasts that have addressed that. Yeah.
I'm wondering what's going on. Like my phone's typing it. I accidentally hit record.
Little voice notes action.
Let's see how good this is. I was dying when they were talking about cruises. I won't even go. No. Oh, that's part of my other notes. How do I stop it from recording? There we go. Wow, this is cool. All right, I'm going to have to reread that. Oh, but that's what I read. I read my other. I said I was dying when they were talking about cruises. And, and the people that go on them and everything, Bill Burr has a bit like that. But when he was talking about like cruises being pointless and they're stupid, I'm like, oh my God, I love these two guys. It's like, that was my favorite conversation ever on Two Bears. Cause I hate cruises. I hate everything about them.
I've never heard one single other person except for you speak with such passionate distaste about cruises. It was so funny.
They're the dumbest thing in the world. Being out in that open ocean.
Yes.
With viruses spread on that ship so easily.
Yeah.
What do? You just eat and drink. Like you could do that in like New York City and have fun. Like I just don't get the appeal of cruises. And I hate cruises so much. I like you're like, should we go on Bert's cruise? Pay for. I'm like, man, I love Bert, but no. I just don't want to go on his cruise. I just don't want to be out in the ocean. And now that I know that you can kill me on a cruise, I definitely don't. And now that I know you're thinking about the water is a good idea, like, you'll never get me on a cruise.
Oh, stop it. I swear to not kill you. I give you my solemn vow.
Really?
Really.
Okay. I'm right there.
Same seas.
Yeah, same seas. Oh, in
Do
that case.
you want to kill me on a cruise and then go to 80s night and dance?
The murderer said he wasn't going to kill me, but he did, which is really weird.
That was so unexpected. Oh, I would burst with excitement to go on Bert's cruise. I would love it, but I know that you would hate it, so I wouldn't want to go. And I was dead when Tim Dillon was talking about how his manager had a plan to like airlift him off the boat once you
or sail away on another boat and wave. That would be me. Airlift me, I'd do my show, and then I'd sail away on another boat and be like, bye, idiots.
You dumb bastard.
Get on this. When the toilets fill up, there's nothing they can do. Oh man. I've already been to places in this world where I had to take dumps in like tents where the crap filled all the way up and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I've enough of that. I don't need a cruise ship.
You're not going back.
I'm not paying thousands of dollars to have that happen again.
Not luxury.
Royal Caribbean.
Oh my stars. This is going back a little bit, but when they were talking about was it a council person who was defending their use of "chew you down"? I forget who the appointed official was.
Yes.
Who did that remind you of?
Oh, Baba Booey when he said it. Yeah,
when he used to say "chew you down."
Yeah, he thought it meant chew. He thought the phrase was "chew you down," like CHEW.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I thought of that same thing, and they had to bring him in and tell him that that's not the term, right?
That's not what that is.
Yeah,
it's offensive.
Yeah, those people, again, that's probably one of the dumb people that believe that Bert got his foot cut off. Somebody like that. It's like they're telling people what I said was not offensive. You know what I mean? Like, what I said was not offensive. I'm like, that's kind of, well, I don't take offense to anything, but I can see how that you were basically labeling a whole bunch of people bargaining, cheapskates,
Exactly.
I was like, it's a pretty, accurate. I mean,
it's actually a damning comment.
A damning comment. Yeah, I just don't. I don't think that guy kind of knew what he was talking about. But it was funny watching him double down on it. Like, I still will say it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not correct, dude.
Oh my stars, I love it.
Yeah. What was the other one? Oh, the guy that the city council guy that came out as a transgender. Female of color or something like that, which they brought up a good point. The way to go back at that rather than getting all mad, because you're doing exactly what he wants. It's just to embrace him, like have all the transgender people just embrace him and hug him and be like, come to the party, and he has to go, and like that's the way you get back at him for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What a waste of time. Like, who would do that? Like, I guess just to get famous or whatever, but like, I just don't know. I just don't, just shitting on this whole argument off topic, or it kind of leads onto it, but there's so much stuff going on. Like, even, I saw a video of Trump at a rally, and he made a comment about his crowd. They cheered. They're going nuts when he was talking about transgender stuff. And he had like this moment of like telling the truth. And he was like, it's so weird. They, you guys all cheer for that. And it used to be I'd talk about taxes and everybody would cheer. And now nobody cheers anything for that. But I bring up transgender and you guys go crazy. You guys even know what they were 5 years ago. And the people watching this video are like, man, he's like telling them to their face like how crazy they are.
Honestly, it is weird.
It is. It's weird. Like, why do you care so much? It doesn't
impact anything.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let someone be happy and live their life and feel comfortable in their body. It impacts no one gets angry about it.
It's just people that live online, and we've talked about that before. But so for a city council member, because like city council, like you don't get paid anything, so you have a normal job, so you're doing this, doing that, and now you're gonna do some kind of bit where like I'm a transgender woman. Like who has the energy for that?
Yeah.
Like who has the energy to do that and run that bit for nothing? It's not like you're doing it for like money or anything like a comedian would be running a bit, but I just found it very, very strange.
I don't know. I wish I knew. I hadn't read anything about him before. I wish I knew if that were like something he'd been living in his real life, like leading up to that, or if it truly is just like
truly is a bit
just to make people.
Yeah, because Tom was talking about his responses to people. He was kind of just trolling them in his responses. You know, no, he wasn't. No.
It's 100%.
That's 100% a bit. Yeah, he's doing it. I mean, yeah. Did you see, kind of on the same topic? Did you see Garth Brooks when he was asked if he would serve Bud Light at his new bar in downtown Nashville? He gave a great answer, I thought. Excuse me. He's like, he was like, hey man, people have different opinions. We're going to serve all the popular beers in the United States. And I think the only way to, make everything good is inclusivity.
Yes.
And then he goes, I got the same flack for writing a song about racism and something like one of his songs in the 90s, like deals with racism and maybe, another hot topic. And he goes, people in the country world wanted to boycott me then. He's like, whatever, they have their opinions. But he just gave such a simple, like,
I love it.
He's like, in my world, I'm all inclusive. So yeah, he's like, yes, we're going to serve Bud Light at my bar.
Garth.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
But
did anyone ask him where the bodies are?
Yeah, no, I was saying we still got to find out where the bodies are.
JK, I love
are those
him.
inclusive?
That's cool. I love when someone in a position of influence just like, hey, stop it. This isn't a real thing.
Yeah, don't waste my time on this.
Everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
Stop being dumb.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That's really cool.
But back to the show.
Speaking of inclusivity, how did you feel about sizeism with regards to travel accommodations?
So I can talk about this because for once,
muscular man,
as a person with mass, that only I can talk about this, not you. How dare you? How dare you?
I don't mean to
talk about the plight of us people with mass. I've never laughed, I don't think, as hard. Maybe the Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid made me laugh just as hard. And there may be two other times where I was just crying, laughing. This was one of them. When Tim Dillon was talking about the buckle, the whatever you call it, on the airplane, the belt extender. I was laughing so
when he said you don't even need a seat.
If he says, if the G forces can remove you and your husband from this seat, we're all toast. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's rewind it. What does Dave Chappelle say? Every joke is funny until it's about you. So obviously there is some kind of thing where they're picking on a heavy person. They weren't just grabbing a bigger person off the street and going, ha ha, you're fat.
They were dressing someone who makes an issue of their size. And complains about
everything.
Available to them.
Yes. That is fair game. If I'm out in public and I'm like, they don't make these dressing rooms big enough, and then I go online and I'm just shitting on everything that is fair game. That is fair game. You like that? I expect somebody to go, stop eating, you fucking fat ass. I'd expect that. I'd welcome it. But if somebody just if I was just walking down the street and somebody's like, look at that,
that's
I'd be like,
hurtful.
oh, that's kind of,
that came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Nobody's got guns like this. So. Look at that.
Should be said that Mr. Syke has over 100 pounds of muscle mass. I feel like it's probably time to address that.
That's what they say.
Elephant in the room.
When they were talking about that girl and Tim Dillon had the line of,
she said, we're doing everything we can to make ourselves small. I really started.
What was his response to that? Everything but
everything except not eating.
Everything except not eating. No, I'm not even talking about that one, which was great. I'm talking about the one where he goes, I wonder what it's like going through life wishing everything was made of marble slabs.
Oh my god!
Jesus. I was like,
Mine was. This is so bad. I don't know why, but I was like weeping when she was, and it sucks. But also at the same time, I get it. She was saying over 350 pounds, you can't do certain excursions. And they were like, yeah, they've tested that. Like, you can't go on a zip line. Like, you can't like hike down because you won't come back up. And they were talking about someone dying in the Mayan ruins. Oh my god, why is that so funny to me? It's not, but the way they did it was really funny.
Oh, and they said all the tourists are sitting there looking like, what do we do? Do we carry them?
It's gonna take 10 of us to
Yes, I know. I get it, man. Like, yeah, half of that's physics. Like, you want to go on that zip line in Vegas? I remember that zip line in Vegas. I think the thing was like 250 or 275, and maybe I weighed 250. And everyone's like, yeah, you could go, you know. And I'm like, that is way too close to that limit for me to go. I need about
let's don't test it. I need like 25 pounds.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I need like 50. If it says 250, I'll be 200. You know what I mean? And I know they probably err on the side of caution where you could probably be 300 and still ride on it, but still.
But then they just like chew it down. We just went to a water park that had weight limits as well, and then we had like a bigger guy come back down. Yeah, we were going up, and the bigger guy was coming back down, and he like talked to you in line and was like, "Did you see Did you see the weight limit?" And
I'm like,
excuse me, sir.
It says 250. I'm
246.
I'm 246, but it's a pool, so I'll take it. I'll take my chances of being too fat. If I fly over the side,
I'm not gonna suspend myself over the jungle, though.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not gonna be on a rope, but I'll be in a tube. That just means I go a little bit higher up the side.
We did go pretty high.
Oh, you have no idea the amount of fear in your kid's eyes when you shoot down, because the new water slides, like you shoot down this like steep thing in this like 4 or 5 person raft, and then it shoots you up the side like this big like oval, and you shoot way up, and then you come down and you go down another one. They're fairly short. It's not, but like
it's terrifying.
if the kids go down backwards and I'm forward, like, so I'm looking down at them, so they're scared just going down because we're going so fast and my weight is really like pushing this thing, and then I shoot them so far up that side, and they're like 30 feet up there looking straight down at me. It looks like they're gonna fall right on me. They're like, ah! And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe that's why a 300 pounder would throw them over the edge. They go flying over the edge. Oh, that was good times.
That was good times. It was good times, but it was really funny. Yeah. Someone who had decided not to go based on the weight limit was like, hey man, did you see there's a weight limit? Like, maybe you should watch out.
Talk to my wife, dude. Weight limit. What is he talking about?
I'm
weight
like,
limit?
Excuse me, sir, what's your weight?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you got all like
I'm like, I'll stand at the bottom and just talk to all the rejects who like climbed their way back down because they were too heavy. I did really appreciate that Tim Dillon recognized the one video as like a fat fetish. I don't think anyone else would have gotten that.
The one with the girl in the airplane seat. He was talking about
one of a girl like overly stuck in the airplane seat, and he was like, no, that's not like, she's not complaining, that's like a fetish thing. Yeah. Like guys that like big girls. He knows.
He knows. Tim Dillon did say something about he thought it would be a rush to kill somebody with somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I remember
it would bond you forever.
Yeah, and I knew this already, but I heard Bill Burr talking on a podcast or somewhere one time, and he was like, oh, he knew like a police officer, and they were talking about crimes, and he's like, what would be the perfect crime or whatever, and he'd be like, oh yeah, me and my buddy would do this, and the police officer's like, you're already caught.
Yeah, nobody.
As soon as he said buddy, you're already caught.
I've heard that too. I wonder if it was the same podcast, but yeah, buddy crime is the last thing that you should do.
It's the last thing, yeah,
because I've heard other cops say that.
Yeah, because one of you guys, you're going to be sitting there, who's going to rat first? Because that's the person that's going to spend the least amount of time in prison.
For sure.
Future friends out there, do not commit a crime with me. I will rat you out first.
Mr. Syke, I'm not built for prison. Such a freaking rat. You have no idea.
Not built for. No, you know what it is? It's not. I'm not like, my kids are the only people I probably wouldn't rat out, and that's probably unhealthy. I just love them so much, but I just don't believe in people doing like incorrect things. I'm not talking like speeding and stuff like that. I'm just like, if you like commit a murder and somebody else's family is like, grieving and upset, and you're my best friend, like, I'm not gonna just be like, yo, you're trying to hide it. Like, if you're a serial killer or something like that, I'm gonna be like, fuck that, man. I'm gonna call the cops right away. I'm like, this dude just confessed to me to murdering
life
somebody.
in prison, y'all.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wouldn't be best friends with somebody that would murder somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, man.
I better take my secrets to the grave.
Yes, I'll turn you in.
Rat me out.
I will turn you in. There will be no more YouTube channel. No more. I'll go on there and be like, yo, this bitch murdered somebody.
Yo, she's not one of us.
Yo, she's not one of us. Run.
Love it. Good morals, Mr. Syke.
Thanks. We got to have some type of morals. I mean, we got loose morals in other areas. Like, at least, like,
it's enough.
Murder,
at least I don't
rape, all that
dig
kind of
on
stuff,
any violence. None of that. Nope. No tolerance.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, same. I can't even, like, I worry so much about people I'm friends with, or people are having issues, people I don't even know. I constantly fuss over and like want to help. I couldn't keep a murder secret for someone. I couldn't cover up anyone.
Don't put that on me.
Any other person.
I tell you, do not come to my house to help me bury a body.
I could not let that down.
The most I'll give you is a 5-minute head start.
Before you call the cops.
Before they call the cops, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because I don't want to ever go to prison, and I don't want to ever be the one that's like, he knew.
To it.
Yeah, an accomplice to it. I guess some prosecutors and like they don't like the way I look. There's like, you definitely were involved with it. I knew you knew it. Like,
yeah, you helped bury the body.
No,
I know.
I'll put that shit on speed dial. I'm like, nope.
911. What's your emergency? Yo,
yeah,
fucker killed somebody.
Yeah, I'm the only one that carries my phone and my Apple Watch on me to prove that I don't commit crimes.
You do.
You know what I mean?
You do.
Like, hey, my Apple Watch has been on me this whole time. You can see that, I wasn't in any location that you think I might have been in. And you raped that girl. No, I didn't. There would have been a struggle. And you could tell right now there was no struggle. I never want to be falsely accused of anything. I was like, nope.
You did recently send a golf cart company a time-stamped video to prove that you didn't do any damage to their golf cart. And it was money.
Fuck them. I won that.
Yeah,
I won that. Yeah,
that was dispute. Big W, and I feel like
it was. They wanted so many pictures of the golf cart that we rented beforehand, like to show us every little scratch, and I mean everything. So I knew how anal they were, and I'm like, man, I have 2 golf carts here. What if I missed something? So then I just took a video after I took all the pictures and sent it. I took a 4K video and I just walked around for 5 minutes, just slowly moving around, just looking at everything. And then, of course, they come back because they try to screw their customers out of the money. And they're like, here's a scratch. That's $900 or whatever. And I'm like, and then I have to scrub through my whole video. I find it, get the timestamp. I send it back to them, and I lit them up, too.
Yeah, you did.
And it was the whole thing. Not that anybody wants to hear this. But I try to get proof of everything, you know what I mean? Like dash cam. Like I don't want anybody to ever be like, he did this, you know? Because I didn't.
When we go up to the top deck of a cruise ship, just take your watch off, leave your phone behind.
So, and now I'm on record saying that I have things on me at all times, and then the one time I don't, and you got, they're gonna be like, oh, why didn't you have your phone on you that time,
Mister? I'm always where I say I am.
And dang it, I stopped wearing my watch too because it's messing with my golf game. Just put me in prison now.
Just
I'm thinking you might as well. This is so stupid. I'm just confessing to everything.
We were talking with some friends the other day. You were doing the Rubik's Cube hypothetical. Like, if they put you in a prison cell with a Rubik's Cube, would you rather serve the time until you solve the cube, or just serve a straight year in prison?
Year.
Which is a good hypothetical. Yeah, a year.
Yeah. I can't do a Rubik's Cube.
I think I could solve it.
If they gave me access to YouTube, I'd do it.
You could do it, yeah.
But
it was some other parents, and we were all kind of like, I could probably do a year in prison.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was
work out, read all day.
Yeah, federal prison where you're like, yeah, you're just like, yeah, work out, read all day, 3 squares, you know, nobody,
a little time in the sunshine.
Yeah, a little time in the yard. Yeah, you can do that. All right, well, good episode. We got to get running, doing things. Yep. Yeah.
No cruises for Mr. Syke.
Never. You know, the open ocean is the main thing for me. I don't. There's no point of being out there. I do not care about the ocean one bit.
You don't dig on all the predators and stuff out there.
No, you're removing yourself from the food chain as soon as you get in the ocetion. You're not the top dog anymore. On here, we're the top dogs.
Yeah, man.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Put a gun in my hand and you know what I mean? No lions coming towards me. Nothing's eating today. Me. Yeah, no bears, you know, but you go in the water, guns don't work. Yeah, you're just gators, sharks, whatever's in there that wants to pull you under and eat you can. You can't do anything about it.
Nope, not much. Yeah. Just punch him in the face, and that doesn't always work.
You're supposed to swim toward a shark. Okay, I'll be the one in the ocean like, bigger. My contacts are falling. I can't see anything. Like, the sharks will be laughing at me. They're like, should we hunt them? It's a little too easy. Give this one to like the kids. And I got a bunch of little sharks just eating me piece by piece because the big sharks just think I'm too funny like to hunt. You know, we want the ones that are swimming away from us, not the ones that are just floating crying.
Give us a challenge. Damn.
Yeah. So his tears are too salty.
All right, on that note. All right, guys. Good cast.
Good cast.
We will see you again next week.
Yep. Maybe one if the boys are back next week.
No, I think not. I think it's probably going to be a Bert up next.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. We'll see.
Yep. See you next week. Thank you for listening. Bye. Maddy, Mr. Syke and Maddy. He doesn't wear a watch, and he's going to be convicted of a crime.